We're turning away work left and right. We're already scheduled out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or a year, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
They've been there for almost 6 months. They finish a tank and then, here's another one. The company was started in 1970 by my grandfather. My dad and 2 uncles were the first 3 employees. Right now, we're close to 500. So there's about 250 here in Farmington, and then just kind of split up between the other locations.
A lot of people would say, well, you have to have the facility for us to give you the jobs. Mm-hmm. So how did you guys?
The Den, powered by the Lyons Group, a show that explores trending topics in real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. We're a small team of professionals with over $400 million in sales and nearly 2,000 successful transactions. You're listening to time-tested experts and industry leaders. Here's a refreshing look at real estate happenings and more. Welcome to The Den.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Den. And today we get to highlight a local company that has done some incredible things. And we have a special guest today, Mr. Chris Reilly with Reilly Industrial. Chris, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. But before I get into it, let me introduce my friends, my partners, my co-hosts, the fellow members of the Lyons Group. In the middle, Paul, Hammy the Rock Berry, Aspen the Ninja Gruen, and the boss, Shannon Martin Martinez. My name is Ben. I don't know what I'm doing, Lyons, but that's why I'm leading this circus because, unexpected surprises. We like unexpected surprises. We all do. In fact, one of the first questions I wanted to ask you was, you had an unexpected surprise at 2:30 in the morning the night before last. Yeah. So how do you handle a man on your front porch for 7 minutes ringing your doorbell at 2:30 in the morning?
Thankfully, by the time I kind of got organized and up and around, he had already taken off. But the smartest thing I did was not tell my wife because she starts spiraling on those kind of things. And so I waited till she was awake and then kind of showed her the video. And then the chaos started, but it wasn't up to any bad. So we just kind of let him go on his way. And
did you guys see that video? Yeah, I mean, he just kind of, it looked like he tried to ring the doorbell a couple times, but he was like missing.
I don't know if he wasn't hitting it hard enough or I was just hitting somewhere random on it. But it definitely looked cold.
Yeah.
And then I saw him leaving yesterday morning about 10 o'clock. So I don't know if he slept on the golf course or what.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I drove by, I was driving in when you were driving out and I saw this guy rubbing his face and kind of walking. And I was like, ooh, that guy looked like he had a rough night. Well, we'll come to find out he, at least he got warm on your doorstep for a few minutes. Yeah. Probably just, lost and on his way. But anyways, so let's get into it a little bit. Reilly Industrial has been a fantastic company here for many, many years. We all know the name, but I don't know if we all know exactly what you all do, Chris. So why don't you shed some light on what you do at Reilly Industrial and tell us about some of your operations there.
Well, I know everybody driving down San Juan Boulevard sees that big white building, and that's really all you see, and you don't ever know much. So the company was started in 1970 by my grandfather, and then my dad and 2 uncles were the first 3 employees.
Wow.
And they were anywhere from 10 to 14 years old. And they would go out in the mornings before school and shovel sand in Chokecherry Canyon, and then go to school, and then after school go at sandblast. And then as the years went on, they've expanded into different industries of painting and vacuum trucks. And then as that kind of expanded, our work areas really expanded too.
And it just grew from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Sonny, have you all met Sonny? That's your grandfather.
Yes.
Yep. And he's the one that started the company. Yes. I'm surprised I have 2 ears because I went in and talked to Sonny and my ears almost fell off. He is a talker. Yeah. He is a character. I mean, sweet guy, super genuine, you can tell, but he will talk and talk, and he's got so many stories. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised to learn, like what you had said, that he started it like kind of a one-man show. Brought, his kids in, which is your father and your uncles, and they just built it from there. So over the years, they've grown it, and it has become a family business to a large degree. You have a lot of family members that work at Reilly Industrial.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I learned from Sonny was like, no one gets a free pass. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's not one of those things, well, I'm the owner's grandson. No, here's a broom.
Yeah. You have to definitely work your way up there, and you got to know every aspect of the business. And when I started, they put me up on the reception desk, and then I learned that and then moved through all the different areas in the accounting office. But yeah, you definitely have to work for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his motto too. And he'll be 90 years old this year.
Wow.
And he's still down at work almost every single day. And he had some health issues pop up recently that kind of slowed him down. But before then, he was probably working 60, 70-hour weeks still.
Those are speed bumps for Sonny. Isn't that incredible? I mean, I think about just working with my family. I don't know if that'd be okay. You would. And I love my family, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's a hard thing to navigate, you know, having a company and working with family. So
we're also blessed because we all do different things. So there's no tension. There's none of that. I feel like all we do all day long is laugh just because something's going on and needing help or.
So what's your official role then?
Hi, I'm Paul Berry, a partner at the Lyons Group. We're dedicated to making your real estate experience the best it can be. If you're looking to buy or sell, go to sjcbroker.com and watch our informational video series. These videos break down the process of buying and selling. While you're there, schedule a private consultation with one of our partners. We'd love to sit down and talk strategy and give you a real advantage in today's market. You deserve the best, so take those steps, and we'll see you soon. Now back to the show.
My official title is the business manager.
Okay.
But I kind of do everything from health insurance, renewals, to building and content insurance, to payroll, accounts payable, receivables. Yep. Within Reilly, we have a bunch of little LLCs too. So I do all the bookkeeping for those and just kind of anything they throw at me.
Yeah. So you're the catch-all then.
Yeah.
So I asked the partners if they could come up with some questions for you, because before I get to that though, why don't you explain to our audience and to us, primarily, what do you do? Okay. Yeah. As far as Reilly Industrial is concerned, I know you wear a lot of hats now, but what is your core competency?
It would be abrasive, blasting, and coating. So we'll coat big water tanks all over the country. Have you guys ever heard of hydro-excavation? So we do a lot of that. So they're big semis with pressure washers basically on them. And it's a big vacuum. And then we'll go in and we can dig a hole with water this big, and we could spot lines or dig holes at just non-destructive digging.
Yeah.
And then
it's like surgery with like a water gun. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that? I mean, Paul, you were on the oil field for a while. The Exavacs, what do you call it? Hydrovacs?
Hydrovac.
Yeah, hydrovacs.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they can cut through steel, can't they?
Not with our particular ones, but we do another one of our realms of work is hydroblasting.
Yeah.
And that's where you get into the real heavy pressure water. So I think our highest pressure hydroblaster is 40,000 PSI. And I've watched that one cut through steel.
Wow.
So we can go in and we clean with maybe not the 40K for that, but go in and clean. We do a lot of work in Texas, and we've even been up to Wisconsin to the cheese factories.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And we basically go in and clean them top to bottom just to the sanitary health standards. Basically.
That's cool. And so we know the cheese curds we're gobbling down are in are in good shape.
How'd you get that job?
I didn't.
In the Wisconsin.
Oh, a lot of the work we do is all bid work. So we get on these big national consortiums, and then just our estimators submit the bid. And we got a whole team of guys, and that's all they do all day long is pump out these bids, and there's such a good staff for this kind of stuff.
So when you get a job like that in a place like Wisconsin, do you take your local employees from here out there to do those jobs, or do you hire out there locally to do them?
It depends on the manpower requested. Most of the time, we'll take people from here or some of our satellite offices, and We might send a couple shuttle drivers out there a week or two ahead and send our equipment, and then the guys fly, or they might drive it. So it just depends. I mean, we work in Minnesota. We work all over the country.
Wow. And usually jobs like that, what are they? A month, a few weeks, 6 months? What are the contracts like that typically?
With like a cheese factory, that might be a week's worth of work. But we're in Wyoming right now doing a bunch of water tanks, sandblasting or abrasive blasting and coating them. They've been there for almost 6 months. And they finish a tank and then, oh, here's another one. So our guys just kind of follow the welders all the way through.
Wow.
And they're massive tanks, like 10 million gallon tanks.
Those are big.
50, 60 feet tall. And
yeah. And so they just move right along. So you have kind of temporary housing for them set up then. And then that way, when that crew's done, they can move out. Or are they in a man camp or?
No, for jobs like that, we give the guys per diem every day and
they figure it out.
Go pick out your hotel, or if you want to get an Airbnb, you can do it.
Yeah.
Or
so
take a camper with you, whatever you want. So
that makes sense. Because if you had some cash, you could just kind of figure out, you can get 5 guys together and rent a little 3-bedroom house or something.
That's what a lot of them do. So they have a kitchen and just some space, not a little 10 by 10 room.
Yeah.
We have 8 locations.
Okay.
And 2 are in Texas, 1 in Odessa, 1 in Lubbock. So any employees that want to work at those locations, we have bunkhouses for them. Okay. So they can go live there for free. We'll give them the money for food and kind of just a little extra bonus to go work down there.
Sure. So that's 2 of your locations. Where are the other locations?
So we have the main office here in Farmington. We have a satellite in Carlsbad, a office in Show Low, Arizona, 1 in Phoenix, Arizona, 1 in Safford, Arizona.
Yeah.
And then we're about 60 days out of opening a new location in Albuquerque.
Wow. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you can talk a little bit about the Albuquerque then.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not much about it. I've seen the contracts on some stuff.
Yeah.
Even though it's not that far from us, a lot of the companies we work for don't want to pay for the mobilization fees.
Yeah.
So it was smart for us to open a spot there where they don't have to pay for that. And they said, as soon as you get an office open, we'll work you. So
yeah. Wow. So that's good. I mean, you guys are just growing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like. How many employees do you have?
Right now we're close to 500. So there's about 250 here in Farmington, and then just kind of split up between the other locations.
That's a lot of personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got 3 alone. So,
Right.
So we see it all down there, good and bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So does my wife. So these guys have seen you've seen 3, maybe 3 of the 4.
Mm-hmm. We've seen plenty of the bad.
Yeah. Questions for Chris. So I was going to open it up for you.
Well, I know they don't have any questions, but I
have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. One of the questions I had was, obviously a lot has changed from 1970 till now.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you guys have, like growing a business from where it was to where it is now? And is there different challenges today than maybe your grandfather had?
Mm-hmm. So I would say the biggest challenge they've had over the years is when, say, the oil field slows down. It's like, oh, we need to find something else to do. So that's kind of why they've expanded so much.
I got to imagine it's hard to the expansion and contraction of opportunities,
mm-hmm.
and then to be staffed up right.
Yeah,
to take advantage. Is that?
I would say right now, the biggest problem we have is we don't have enough employees and we don't have enough equipment.
To take advantage of
take advantage of all the work we could have.
Wow.
We're turning away work left and right sometimes just because we're already scheduled out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or a year, depending on what it is.
Yeah. And so to Aspen's question about what's changed, the challenges that have changed over the years, probably, I'm imagining you can expand on this, but originally it was like, how do we get the business.
Yeah.
Now it's like, how do we work the business and not overextend? Is that kind of the more of the challenge nowadays?
I would say so, yeah. And we kind of found a solution to some of the manpower issues is using temp agencies. And a lot of it is hard for us to hire full-time people for some of these jobs because they might require 150 or 200 guys, but it's only for 4 days worth of work at a power plant or something. So that's kind of where we utilize those guys. And then with the equipment, we've been renting a lot of it too. We've had to get stuff out of Canada and kind of just work around that as best as we can.
It's a lot of moving parts. Pretty incredible to think about. All the different angles you got to go after to get the business. You have to have the foresight too, to be able to say, okay, it's going to cost us. We can take this job on. We're going to bid this job out, but gosh, the unforeseen costs, like, well, we may not have the equipment. We need to move the equipment. Then the insurance goes up or whatever else. And, wow.
And then just all the regulations we have to deal with and all the different permits and Arizona. We have to do dust control permits anytime we're working on a tank, and it's based on the size of the work area. And it's just a lot of moving parts. The guys can't just walk in and work anymore. So
and especially if you have temporary employees, you got to train them up and then get them going. Great question.
Yeah. Do
you have a follow-up with that one, Aspen? Or
I think Paul actually had a question that would probably go in with that.
Yeah, I think you answered a little bit of it. But my question was, like, I was in the oil field for 15 years. I went through 3 busts, but it always seemed like you guys were hiring the whole time. So my question was going to be, how did you diversify, or did you have to diversify, or were you already diversified enough that those busts didn't hurt you? One of the things that we always had troubles with opening up another facility was you had to find the work to get to deserve the facility or to have the facility. And then a lot of people would say, well, you have to have the facility for us to give you the jobs. So how did you guys, because eight locations nowadays is pretty amazing.
So with the drops in the oil field here and the diversification of the company, I was growing pains like in the 70s and 80s, but they kind of weathered the storm with that. And we did so much by that time. Anytime everything would drop, we were fine just because we did so much and we had so much work bid out and already awarded. And so they just kind of jumped these guys around. And that's one good thing about our staff is everybody is so well trained. One day they might be on a hydro-ex truck and the next day they're hydroblasting. And the day after that, they're sandblasting and painting. It just kind of everyone's so well-rounded and anybody can do anything. And we offer 50 different services and just kind of, I guess, weather the storms.
Well, one of the things it came back to me, do you ever get too diversified that it gets overwhelming with what you're doing? You'll have one section or one service that you do is really getting a lot of work and the other stuff is not, or because I know some companies I've worked for have over diversified and then it kind of all goes downward.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Everybody loves it and we like being busy and just keeps the bills paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you got a lot of people that can, like you said, cross train, so they can do a lot of different things. So I guess to your point, Paul, like if you did have a push in one area that you weren't anticipating, at least the guys are trained up and they can do that. I have to imagine you've got employees that have been with you guys for decades. Is that right? Is that fair to say?
Yes. We actually did a report a week or two ago, and I would say about 200 of our employees have been there 10 to 15 years or more.
Wow.
So
Almost half, a third, I would say close to a third of your employees have been there for at least a decade. That's pretty impressive.
And then we have a good section who've been there 30 plus years.
Wow.
So,
that's pretty incredible. I mean, We've been working together for 20 plus years.
He keeps calling you old.
Yeah.
He keeps bringing that up.
You're aging me.
I thought I'm hit the lottery, I'm like, I got one. Yeah.
One little stick it out.
Yeah. One little stick it out. Shannon, you got a question for Chris?
Yeah. I'm curious if you are seeing any locally here in San Juan County, are you seeing any signs or movement that we will have a little oil field activity coming back? I know you said you bid jobs and things. Are you seeing anything coming up in the future that's indicating that maybe we'll have some of that activity around here at all?
There's rumors about it all.
Because we hear the rumors too, but we don't ever see anything tangible. So have you seen like any companies throwing bids out there or wanting bids, like showing signs that they're actively going to do any work around here?
There's been a little bit of it.
Okay, that's good news.
It's in the oil field sector. We don't see a lot of that because we're not really involved in any of the drilling, workovers, or anything like that. But there has been a lot of new construction stuff coming up. And another sector of what we do is commercial painting. So we've done stuff at the hospitals and the Mavericks and the McDonald's, and we see a ton of that stuff coming into town that we're bidding.
That's cool. I didn't realize you did those type of projects too. That's cool. And we are seeing a lot of development in that regard.
Yes. And we hired a new commercial paint manager about a year ago. And I mean, he's just hit the ground running. Yeah. And we've expanded even more from what we were before him. And we never were into house painting. But there's been several new builds we've done.
Wow.
And I mean, just expanding it out. And he's getting work in Texas and just keeping us busy there.
Holy cow. You guys do really run the gambit. I mean, you have a pretty wide array of things that you do. House painting to cleaning cheese curd containers.
We do nasty, dirty work too. Another one of our customers is a wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, wow.
So we go in and we clean the filters.
Oh,
nasty work.
So yeah, that's terrible. Yeah. I always say that I was like, there's a special place in heaven for plumbers because they put in some work that most of us wouldn't want to do. I do not want to let this next section pass us by without having you speak to it.
Okay.
You all have seen the razor that is auctioned off every year, raffled off, I should say, every year. Well, that is part of the Reilly Men's Fund for the men's health. And I want you to speak to that because that's been an impactful thing for our community for many, many years. And kind of talked about that program and why it came about and what you see for that.
So in 2004, my family started the Reilly Men's Health Fund because there was such a need for assistance for men for anything health related in this area. And they started out doing golf tournaments as the fundraisers. And then just over the years, as the industries have changed and people have come and gone, they've kind of had to adjust to how they want to, I guess, get the fundraising to stay in this area. So a couple of years ago, we were approached about doing a razor raffle. And with this area being such a big razor and off-roading area, we're like, that's a perfect idea.
Yeah.
So they started doing those. And the Men's Health Fund last year helped, I want to say, 197 men in this area.
Wow.
And then there was almost $198,000 or $200,000 paid back to men in the Four Corners area.
That's incredible. And I remember you telling me, he told me one time, he said, there's a lot of people that get taken care of in the community, but oftentimes our men are always shouldering. They shoulder and shoulder and they quietly shoulder. And they go through mental challenges a lot. They go through health challenges, and to have a cause that is specific for men. So it's pretty incredible. So what is that money? Does that go for counseling? Does it go for their health? What does that go for?
It can be really used for anything in the medical realm. It can be used for prescription glasses, contacts, fuel to Albuquerque to a doctor's appointment. It doesn't matter as long as it's something health related.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is go down to the medical foundation and fill out a piece of paper and apply for the funds. Anybody can do it.
Where's the medical foundation located?
It's down right across from the hospital.
Right across from the hospital.
Right there on the backside of the Conley House.
Okay. Yep.
So,
Familiar with it. What a great cause.
it is. And the community's really rallied over this razor raffle.
Yeah.
And
I've tried to win it a couple times.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so thankful for everybody that supports it every year and builds these amazing razors. And I could name all the sponsors every year, but it would take me 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's just such a cool thing that so many people support it and on board to make healthcare better for men.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability to receive it. So
yeah, that's what I love about capitalism. You have companies that go out there and they build and they do well, and then they give back, right? They're not forced to give back. No one, wrote a regulation and said, you have to give back. You guys just step in and give back and you make your community better. And we love that at the Lyons Group. We really take a lot of pride in that, trying to give back to our local community. What a great cause.
And I appreciate that you're getting back to a sector, like as Ben said, that's really underlooked most of the time. I think men don't speak up when they need help. And I think that we as a society, we always look at women's health all the time. We're constantly pushing that. Women in sports, women in schools, advancing women in science, we look to advance women in every sector. But what we've done in that is we've left men behind, and we've made men feel, I think a lot of times, that they can't ask for help. And so, especially being, I'm sure you hire women too, but I'm sure the majority of your employees are men. And it's good to see you stepping up and saying, we recognize this, and these are people we want to care for.
yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Very well said. It's been a great cause. Cause.
We should have our new razor ready for the reveal in first part of June, and tickets will go on sale. So everybody can go out and support us again.
Very cool. We'll line it up. We'll be buying tickets for sure. So to see if we can win it, but more importantly, just to support the cause. Love supporting that. That's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to wind down here in another couple of minutes. Any other questions before we wrap it up from the panel here?
I was thinking that whenever you were saying you were in all these different areas and you go all over the country, do you have a team that just does permits? Because I imagine that would be hard to figure out what the regulations are for each state.
We could have a full-time team, but I do most of it myself. And then the estimators will kind of research it and kind of let me know what I need to do. And then all the sales tax laws and just everything. It's a lot. We have a master spreadsheet of all the permits and just track it and try to stay current with everything.
So you're the permit man.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Team of one.
yeah, the team
It's
of
a lot, but you got to stay compliant or you can't work. So you got to make it work.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Again, you guys cross train, you work together. It sounds like you have a wonderful place that everybody enjoys coming to work. I mean, it doesn't feel like work when you enjoy it. You have a supportive staff. You have people that trust each other, work well together. Sonny has really built a legacy that your father and your uncles and your family and you are carrying on. And I'm sure you've got cousins and then, other children coming up. So what a great company to highlight. I mean, what a great company that has been a mainstay in this area for many years. And I wish we had more time because gosh, we could talk for another hour at least on all these great things, but we got to wind it up. And thank you, Chris, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Fascinating conversation. And we appreciate you coming on. So
thank you.
If you like this content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, go to our Facebook page and get some information there. Sign up for our newsletter. Paul, the Hand Me the Rock, puts out a fantastic newsletter, keeps you current on all the things that matter here locally with real estate. And definitely go to sjcbroker.com and sign up for a consultation to meet any one of us here at the Lyons Group. We'd love to sit down with you and give you an advantage in today's market, whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial. We'd be happy to sit down and have a conversation with you. So thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Den, powered by the Lyons Group. Hit the subscribe button to keep informed and check the show notes below for direct links to our buyer and seller video series. The Buyer and Seller video series can give you an inside track on taking the right steps in real estate. If you'd like to learn more about the Lyons Group or to schedule a consultation, go to sjcbroker.com. Complex markets require complex strategies. The Lyons Group can give you a true advantage in any market. Whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial, contact us directly at sjcbroker.com. We're time-tested experts with a client-first approach, and we'll see you next time in the Den.